Okay, so we got a few things to talk about. Obviously, we will start with the Wolves making the Nuggets look the worst that they've looked in a long time, and having one of the best defensive games we've all seen in a minute. I'll talk Knicks Pacers. I'll do a little thing on Thunder Mavs because I have not done a round two preview outside of the Nuggets Wolves series. My bad. Little thing on Celtics Cavs. We'll talk about the Magic a little bit at the end too. Okay, that was unbelievable. We all just watched the Wolves not only shut down the Nuggets, they embarrassed them. They made them look rushed on possession after possession, and this is everybody, including Jokic. They made them look small, uncomfortable, all of it, and they did it without Rudy Gobert. And during this whole thing, we saw Jamal Murray throw a heat pack onto the courts. Bro, besides the fact that that's just like you throwing a temper tantrum as a grown man on live television, that is incredibly dangerous for anybody on the court. And I think a suspension would be very fair, although I don't think they're going to suspend him. I think they're just going to fine him for a whole lot of money. Where do you even start with something like that? I mean, you can talk about Naz Reid blocking Jamal Murray jump shots, blocking Jokic in the post, or Jaden getting around so many Jamal Murray screens from Jokic or whoever, or Nikhil doing the same thing. You know, Naz Reid high up on one of those, he tips the bounce pass that's supposed to go to Jokic. You've got, let's see, Murray going for a pull-up too. It's Jaden helping off of Aaron Gordon on the wing, and then Jokic gets the offensive rebound, and then there's three Wolves around Jokic, and then maybe that was one of the Naz Reid blocks or whatever. You've got slow-mo, like, hitting the ball away from Murray, and then Murray gets it back, and then he basically just puts his head down and says, screw it, I'm going to shoot on this play. He's in the paint. There's three Wolves on him. I believe it was slow-mo on him, Cat at the rim, as well as Jaden. Gordon is wide open in the corner. And, like, this is the thing that was talked about before the series, and this is what every team tries to do, you know, playoff Aaron Gordon, all that stuff. That was not the only reason why the Nuggets got shut down as hard as they did in this game, because the ball pressure and screen navigation was unreal. But also, yeah, they're throwing as many bodies as they can whenever they can. I mean, I remember a play where Murray, he picked the ball up with Jaden on him after Jaden, as you would expect, gets around a Jokic screen. It was like a DHO where it started from like a pin down with KCP and then flows into a Jokic DHO. Anyway, Jaden gets around that whole mess. And then Murray picks the ball up, and MPJ on the wing is open for like a split second before slow-mo rotates over to him. And Gordon was actually setting like kind of an off-ball screen. The point being is Murray doesn't see him. He picks the ball up, and then he attempts like a behind-the-back pass. In a game like this, with how it's going, it's of course a turnover. We're going the other way. I mean, hell, you got like Jokic trying to make a pass to Justin Holiday on a cut, and then it's two Wolves just there for him. The pass gets loose to turnover. It's just play after play of length and ball pressure and some switching, which, you know, Slow-Mo was doing some switching, you know, switching off of Gordon and all that because they, you know, Rudy's not here, Slow-Mo's playing all that. Just total dominance, possession by possession, being like, I don't even know if they can score right now. And so, okay, you go down to Minnesota, down 2-0, have to win game 3. The crowd is going to be going crazy. And the first thing you got to do before we get into any potential X's and O's, whatever the heck, is you got to be ready for it, man. You got to be ready for the physicality. Also, you got to be physical back. Because in this game, by the time the Nuggets even knew what was going on, they were already down by like 20-something points. Like, you need to go into game 3 with the same level of aggressiveness and all that the Wolves had. Now, no, you do not have the defenders the Wolves have, but you can at least match the energy. And then after that, I mean, you got to find some sort of an action here that can get Jamal Murray free consistently. Because the DHOs and the screens up top, I mean, to open up the half, they ran a Jokic-Murray empty side screen where he was able to actually get separation from Jaden, and he got into a pull-up too, you know, signature Jamal Murray shot. So, okay, cool. There was like one Jokic lob to Aaron Gordon that I remember happening in this, so okay, nice. But of course, Rudy did an amazing job at preventing, you know, a lot of those types of actions in the first game. But yeah, that's got to be number one. As far as Jokic, look, Jokic was bad in this game. This is the worst Jokic game in a while. I think Jokic is going to be really good in game 3. And then everything just kind of plays off of that, you know, with MPJ and the shots he can get. I mean, MPJ was good in the last game. I should have talked about MPJ more. He was good in game 1. I mean, like, would it shock anybody if he makes 7 threes in game 3? Like, no. But yeah, those are the biggest things. Be ready for that again. Match the energy, and then try to find some sets that can get Jamal Murray some separation, because good lord, that guy is struggling. Now again, like I said in the opener, throw in the damn heat pack, Murray. Like, come on, bro. Like, I think that would deserve a suspension. I don't think they're going to do it. So yeah. Didn't even talk about the Wolves offense in this one. It was good. There you go. Okay, now let's go on to Knicks Pacers. I did not do a preview for this series, therefore, do I give a prediction? The problem is if I say I think the Knicks are going to win, they're already up 1-0. Like, I'm cheating, you know what I mean? I don't know. I am going to give you a Thunder Mavs prediction in a little bit here. So real quick, we do need to acknowledge some officiating things where we can talk about the Pacers' transition offense and TJ McConnell and Brunson on ISOs versus Nemhard and Josh Hart once again being a madman. Look, There were 3 bad calls against the Pacers late in this game, okay? No, I do not think the game was rigged. It's still a 48-minute basketball game with many offensive and defensive plays for both teams, all that stuff. There were still 3 bad calls late. The illegal screen of Miles Turner, bro, come on. The kicked ball on Nesmith, that was not a kicked ball. And then when Halliburton was called for a foul, when he stripped it from Brunson, and then, yeah, they challenged it, they overturned it, but they lost a transition opportunity because of that play. Okay, now that we got that, I do think the biggest thing with this series is the Knicks' offensive rebounding and how that relates to the Pacers in transition, because one of a few things can happen, right? It's either the Knicks dominate the offensive glass, therefore the Pacers cannot get the boards, they cannot get out and run themselves. Although even then, they were pushing off of makes in this game. We'll talk about that. Another possibility is that the Knicks do not get the rebounds, even if they are being very aggressive. Therefore, the Pacers are now getting green lights and then some to go down court because the Knicks are not back there. So yeah, and we did see in the fourth the Knicks eventually started to get some O boards. We saw Mitch get on the boards for something that eventually led to like Josh Hart catching it and driving it and then getting a 3-point play on Miles Turner. Josh Hart then got an offensive rebound off of the free throw. And then he also had that offensive rebound off of running in from the corner where Miles Turner ended up on him, and that's why it's tough, man. It's got to be every single possession with him. Similar to what it is with guarding the Pacers. It's got to be every single possession with the transition stuff. And so what did we see? I will eventually talk about Jalen Brunson going crazy in the fourth, don't you worry. But we saw TJ McConnell pushing it. Like Brunson might score on TJ in a one-on-one, and then TJ is just gone on the other end. We saw Siakam getting a seal. He actually sealed for guys at least one time that I remember to get one of those like transition buckets, but he also would seal OG in the post in transition, give me the ball, and then it's a Halliburton hit-ahead pass or a whoever hit-ahead pass. Or like Siakam brings it up himself, and then it's Isaiah Jackson who gets free for something. Now, we did also see the Knicks steal like at least one hit-ahead pass. I remember that one was pretty early in the game. I think that one was from Josh Hart. But then you would have like Miles getting free on the full court after he blocked Ihart on the other end off of a Brunson-Ihart screen action where you did a good job of like playing up on it and then getting back into the play to block Ihart from behind, and then Ihart's not getting back in time. It's just, so yeah, I mean, we saw the Pacers be the Pacers. Now, what we also saw was Jalen Brunson be Jalen Brunson, and it felt like in that fourth quarter, the Pacers were constantly sort of wrestling within themselves of like, do we double him? Because for a lot of it, it was like Brunson's cooking Nembhard in a single coverage situation, or it's going to be like Nesmith switches onto him, and then Brunson screens for Josh Hart. I feel like I'm mentioning Josh Hart a million times, but he deserves it. And then it's like, I got you in a one-on-one again, now I'm just going to rise up with a 3. I mean, like, the shot making is so crazy. Like, he's just making tough shot after tough shot. Like, at what point do you just say, screw it, we're going to bring extra bodies? Well, on one of them, it was the Halliburton foul that should not have been a foul call, even if it did get overturned. Again, took away a transition opportunity. They did have Nesmith peeling in just a bit off of DiVincenzo with one pass away off of Brunson. Halliburton had to help over when the help came to Brunson on the double, and DiVincenzo made a deep 3. Like, that's the risk you're playing here, man. And of course with Brunson, I mean, it's turnarounds around the free throw line. It's these pull-up 2s. It's these, one crossover or one behind the back move and like a little back down on Nembhard, create just enough space, stop on a dime, rise up. It was so many damn times, and especially in that fourth quarter. On the other end, we did see DiVincenzo on Halliburton most of the game. We saw OG pretty much on Siakam. We did get a couple of Siakam just trying to score on OG in a 1v1. He had a couple of turnarounds over him. He had a face-up drive on him late in the game that was huge for him. OG, I believe, had like one really good possession in the post on Siakam. He had that great swipe on Halliburton where he was helping off of Siakam in the corner that resulted in a steal. OG, I do think the OG Siakam situation, like, it's going to be a theme all series, because I don't know if OG is going to guard anybody else like that full time. I mean, he did have some possessions on Halliburton when Siakam was not in the game, but when you think about their best chance of guarding Siakam in 1v1s, like, yeah, it's pretty much OG. And we already saw in the Sixers series that eventually Tibbs committed to having OG on Tobias or somebody on the wing and not Maxey to be like more of a help guy, be a little more switchable if he's involved in the action, that type of thing. As far as Halliburton, I mean, whether it's DiVincenzo chasing him from behind, whether it's 2 to the ball on him, like, Halliburton is always going to make the right play. And I know that's cliche, but like, it's just what it is. With that being said, I don't know if the Pacers are going to win this series if Halliburton's scoring 6 points in these games, unless he's getting like 20-something assists, or effectively that many assists, if it starts the chain of everybody moving. So we'll see. It was a fun game 1. Brunson continues to just go scorched earth. And also, I should say, I did think DiVincenzo's pressure on Halliburton, especially in the fourth on some plays, was really good. Made him a little uncomfortable, maybe made him a little quicker to give the ball up, or whatever that means. Okay, let's do a little thing on Thunder Mavs. I should have done a series preview for this one, but I don't know, time became weird the past couple days for me. There are several themes in this, and I don't know which ones are going to really end up playing out. Obviously, you got Lou Dort, who's going to be like a madman fighting around screens and everything on Luka. You've got the potential of Gafford or Lively. Unfortunately, Kleber's out. He had the injury, and he played a big role for them in the Clippers series. We could see either one of them, Gafford or Lively, playing off of Giddey, and just how does OKC react to that between, is Giddey going to make enough threes? Is he going to beat him as a cutter, as a screen setter? If they got to take him out, like who's coming in between Isaiah Joe, Cason Wallace, Aaron Wiggins? We'll see with that, but also if they do that, will Chet be able to consistently make them pay for having a wing on him? Now, if PJ Washington, if it ends up being him, they did do a little bit of Derrick Jones in the regular season on Chet, but whoever ends up being, like, it's going to be a good defensive player on Chet, you know? Not a guarantee they do this. They could just have it straight up, and then one of the centers is just guarding Chet. We go from there. But if they do have a wing on Chet, it does make any SGA Chet action more switchable, or J-Dub or whoever. Granted, SGA, I mean, listen, SGA is going to be getting his ISOs and all of his pull-up twos and his up fakes that get guys in the air for fouls. Like, he's doing all that in this series. On the other end, I mean, my biggest thing with OKC all year, they give up a lot of corner threes by design because they get a lot of deflections, they get a lot of blocks, they get a lot of steals, they are willing to bring help. They still have Chet in the middle for just simple screen actions, and I mean, yeah, like how Chet does as a rim protector versus Luka and Kyrie, it's going to be a huge theme in the series. But also just what does this result in, you know, because I mean, we saw the Clippers dare Derrick Jones and PJ Washington and Dante Exum and Josh Green as well. I mean, hell, I looked at one of the regular season matchups. Josh Green was starting the game on SGA. These guys are going to get opportunities like they did in the last one. But within that, look, you're going to see Kyrie taking pull-up threes with Chet, you know, in these screen actions. You're going to see Luka taking turnaround twos with Lou Dort all over him. Then you have J-Dub, who definitely should not be forgotten in this whole thing. The guy averaged basically 20 points a game this year. The pull-up shooting, the step backs, the tough shot making, just saw so many strides throughout the year, you know, and obviously what he can do off of screens and as a cutter and off of it as an everything. And I do wonder just how Dallas will guard him, and will you put two to the ball on J-Dub? I don't know. It's a really interesting series, and I am not confident in what exactly we're going to see scheme-wise by either team, but it should be a good time. Who am I picking? I'm feeling Dallas in 6 or Thunder in 7, just because I think picking the home team to lose Game 7, like, it's happened, but also the odds are that it will not happen. So I guess I'll go Dallas in 6, and then I am prepared for SGA to drop 35 in Game 1 and the Thunder to force a whole bunch of deflections, and I go, why the hell did I make that pick? But okay, fine. Real quick, the Cavs beat the Magic in a pretty damn wild Game 7 in the end. Look, the Magic had a hell of a season. I understand for Magic fans, it probably sucks in the moment. Of course it does. Losing to Game 7, especially when you had the lead like that. It was a hell of a season for the Magic. They need more shooting, all that stuff. We get it. But it was a great season. Elite defense. Paulo's legit. Healthy season from Isaac, which is what we've just been hoping for because we knew he could do this on defense. Anyway, congrats to Cleveland. They actually won the Game 7, and it feels like I'm going to immediately pivot to them then losing in round 2, like everybody is. No one's going to pick them to beat the Celtics. The Celtics should win this series in no more than 5 games. I'll probably go 5. I could picture one game, Cavs go crazy from 3, Celtics realize, oh, we have to guard the 3-point line. And so, yeah, Celtics in 5, and I know Porzingis is out, but they should be fine.